Wow. So that's my editing all fucked up. So I've pixelated, and I can't even see. So I'm gonna end this podcast. Shit. Oh, wait, I can fix it right here. There, that's much better. Now you can actually see me. So yeah, I'm just continuing to play through this game from where I left off at. Yeah, so I use that other form that you were just seeing when I do
against orcs.
Wait, hold up, I need to load. Because I already played through this. Did I not save? Don't tell me I didn't save. I was about to say, that would have been really bad. So yeah, I just got done dealing with the Dark Elf. And now I gotta go all the way over here. So some female Dark Elf.
Every evening since you left Greenglade, you have looked at Goren's books and tried to prize out the knowledge that they hold. But now, you must admit to yourself that you can't decipher them. They are written in the learned language for High Magi, and Lot Yonan didn't teach you that. How did Goren ask? What the heck? Goren is dead, and you want to know what you're lugging around with you through the length and breadth of Girdlegard. You grasp at the pouch with an uninvolved expression, so that the twins don't think you're acting against Lot Yonan's instructions. You undo the knot. A piercing, bone-splitting sound rings out, and small spheres of light shoot into the air, ending in colourful explosions.
By Fracas' hammer and all the fires of his forge!
The twins jump up immediately and draw their weapons. You curse, and...
By the mountains of Girdlegard! What was that, Scholar?
I just wanted to examine the magical trap. It's for thieves, in case someone tries to steal the pouch.
You try to act normally, so that they don't realize you got just as much a shock as they did. Boindale looks at the pouch with animosity.
Magical frippery.
The twins sit down again, and you slowly recover.
I don't know, we're supposed to
just like
not
previous
open the pouch.
nights, you are haunted by the image of the elf maiden nailed to the tree in Greenglade. You wake from your sleep and look around you. The night is unusually dark. Despite your good dwarven eyes, you can only make out Boendal's outline, even though he's keeping watch only a few steps away. You're about to lie down again, but suddenly feel something cold against your throat. Next to you, the pale face of an elf slides into view.
Good evening. I'm afraid we missed each other in Greenglade, so my companion had to receive you on her own.
You don't have much experience with Alpha, and only want to act when you're sure that it will achieve something.
Don't worry, I won't kill you. Not yet. Do you know what I am going to do instead?
You feverishly search for an answer, but you can't even imagine how an Alpha thinks.
I will kill everyone who means anything to you. I will destroy your life, and you will sink into hopelessness, groundling. Your downfall is called Synthoras.
You tense your muscles, readying to defend yourself, but suddenly realize that the blade against your throat has disappeared. You look around, astonished. The elf is nowhere to be seen. You look over to Boendal, who is easy to recognize in the bright moonlight. Next to you, Boindil smacks his lips in his sleep. You touch your throat, and when you don't feel anything, you breathe out, relieved.
Just a nightmare.
At least that's what you tell yourself. But you don't close your eyes for the rest of the night.
I gotta kill that dude for saying he's gonna kill everyone that means anything to me, bro. Like, that's crazy.
Boindil unwraps his dwarf cheese again and cooks it on the fire. When he offers you a piece, you take it.
I knew we'd make a dwarf of you in the end.
You chew on the cheese so you don't have to answer. It tastes better than you first thought. A colourful trader's wagon drawn by two stocky horses is coming towards you. A small man is sitting on the box seat, and as soon as he sees you, the wagon slows down. As it draws to a stop next to you, you realize that the driver isn't human. He's a dwarf.
Greetings, my friends. All too rarely does one meet wayfaring dwarves around here. You can call me Mort.
Greetings, Mort. I am Tungdil. This is Boindil and Boendal.
You are happy to meet another dwarf, and such a friendly and eloquent one at that.
There's an achievement
Wayfaring
connected to this
dwarves
Mort
may
guy.
not be common, but a traveling dwarf trader? Now that really is weird.
Then you see what great luck it is that we've met like this. Come, have a look at my wares. I'm sure you'll find something to make a dwarf's life a little sweeter. I'll make you a good price.
Where are you heading?
To Clintel, a small village where I can expect to do very little business. But the people there are nice and kind. I've known some of them since they were smaller than me. Isn't it astounding how much they manage to achieve in such short lives?
After glancing at Boindil's grave expression, Mort continues unfazed.
I can say in all certainty that there's not the same ambition to make a difference and change things in our halls.
That is because there is no reason to change things if you do them right first time. We dwarves think first before acting.
As it is Boindil of all people making such a claim, you're sure it must be a joke. But your friend continues to eye the trader with a serious and distrustful look.
Mort, I hope you don't mind me asking, but which kingdom are you from?
The dwarf's clothes seem more like those of humans, and he isn't bearing any coat of arms.
My kingdom? Is that important? I'm my own kingdom. I go where I please and enjoy the fresh air and the sun on me skin.
At your side, Boindle is tensing his muscles, and you think you see from the corner of your eye his hands moving a little nearer to the handle of his axes.
Is your kingdom important?
You two must be secondlings, right? I can tell by your armour. But you...
He looks you over for a while.
You're not a secondling, are you?
As you yourself don't know for sure which kingdom you belong to, you give no answer and just shrug your shoulders. Mort throws you a knowing glance and nods slowly.
I grew up with Magus Lot Yonan in Yonandar. I would have given anything to meet someone like you.
I rarely leave this area. People know me here, so the abuse isn't too bad.
Mort shrugs his shoulders, as if it were no big deal. When he sees the concerned look on your face, he adds,
I don't blame them. It's our fault too. We turned our backs on other races. People fear what they don't know.
We must press on. It was a pleasure meeting you, Mort.
Mort smiles.
The feeling is mutual, Tungdil. Vrakas be with you.
Mort spurs the horses on, and the colourful wagon jolts into motion.
You shouldn't be so trusting.
The wagon is no more than a few yards away when Boindle looks at you reproachfully.
A dwarf who lives alone among humans for years on end and disowns his kingdom? Don't you know what that means?
He's an outcast, Tungdil. His kingdom and his clan have banished him. It's a severe punishment, only dealt out for serious offences.
The twins enter into a long discussion about what crime the trader may have committed, and go on to teach you the basics of Dwarven law. As dramatic as their accounts may be, you didn't have the impression that Mort was a criminal, nor that he suffered particularly from his exile. You arrive at a small, bustling village. One thing is clearly missing from the lively scene: the sound of metal on metal from the village smithy that would normally be heard above everything else at this time of day. A dour, grim-looking man is sitting in front of the forge with his right arm in a sling. His expression brightens as he sees you, and he jumps to his feet.
Dear Dwarves, could I interest you in helping me in my workshop for a day?
The man's expression is somewhere between desperation and hope. As you don't answer immediately, he continues.
You will, of course, be royally rewarded for your work. I can offer you 100 gold pieces.
I'll help you. I worked in a forge for a while.
You modestly conceal that in this case, a while means almost a whole human lifetime. A little later, you are standing in the workshop, examining the smith's inferior tools, while he fires up the forge and prepares everything for the job as well as he can with just one good arm. You weren't able to persuade the twins to help you. As warriors, they'd rather go hunting, Boindle declared. But you think it's more probable that you'll find them drinking beer. But you don't care. You're excited about being able to smith again after such a long time. Hours later, you have forgotten everything around you. The heat of the forge, the sweat on your warm skin, the play of the flames. You're in your element and work as if in a trance. The smith left the workshop ages ago with a satisfied grin on his face.
Wait, I'm talking to you.
You look up in surprise. Everything but the beating of the hammer had ceased to exist, and you didn't notice that someone has come in.
Can you do it?
You immediately dislike the middle-aged man. He sounds you out so doggedly with his light grey eyes that it feels as though he wants to look right through you and into your deepest thoughts. The man points to two horses.
Those two, in 1 hour.
These two need shoeing. Oh, no problem.
The man doesn't look convinced, but you get to work with confidence after examining the horses' hooves. Two more armed men are standing next to the horses, sizing you up.
So, you're mercenaries, I take it?
You're only trying to engage in conversation, but the man looks at you incredulously, as if he didn't expect dwarves to be able to talk.
Something like that.
Got lots of work? Oh, do you know anything about the armies of orcs from the south?
We can't complain.
The man's tone makes it clear that the conversation has ended here. You carry out the work in silence. As the leader of the mercenaries pays you, you have the feeling that he is trying to transfix you with his eyes. The men leave the workshop without a word. You ignore the horsemen and concentrate on your work. When you tell the twins about your visitors later on, they know exactly who you're talking about. They encountered them on the way back from hunting. You spend the night in the smith's house and continue on your way, with your well-earned reward the next morning.
I got bunches of gold for that.
Axeldale is shrouded in an eerie silence as you approach. There's not a single fishing boat on the river, and many of the houses are now just burnt-out ruins.
The big-nosed beasts have made a grim job of it. Seems they don't like fish.
Boendal gives his brother a reproachful look. There are dead bodies everywhere, but it seems to you that there should be more of them. For a brief moment, you hope that the villagers had fled. But then you realize that the orcs were probably hungry after the... Boendal lays a hand on your shoulder.
Let's go. There's nothing more we can do for these people. But maybe there are others we can help.
Clute Meadow is recovering from a recent battle. Green-skinned corpses are being... You hear some villagers talking about the attack. It would seem that King Tilligorn's cavalry had protected the settlement and destroyed the army of orcs. But the cavalry have already returned to the capital. Once you reach the top of the hill above Goodwater, you can see what is left of the village. The sea of red roof tiles has given way to a forest of burnt, shattered wooden planks and bent iron bars are all that is left of the gate.
I couldn't save them. Even the reinforced gate.
You see a light through the trees some way from the path. It inevitably brings to mind your encounter with the woodcutters. You tell the dwarves about your encounter with the woodcutters and how they grilled you. Not exactly your proudest moment.
I'll deal with them. They won't make the mistake of taking on a dwarf again.
Humans are not our enemies, Boindil.
Thinking about it, they do deserve it.
Boindil grins widely, and before Boendal can stop him, he stomps off. You lie awake in your camp and think about the woodcutter's roast that you had for dinner. The rabbit was the best thing you've eaten in a long time. It tasted of victory.
Why are the Magus' vaults here in the middle of nowhere? And why does the Lord of Yonendar live in a vault and not in a castle?
It's to do with the magical fields that spread out under Girdlegard, so the 5 magical realms are found where the fields are at their strongest.
And that's why he lives in the vaults? To be closer to the underground magic?
No, it's more to do with security. 200 students of magic and well, a source of almost unlimited magical energy The Magus thought that an underground vault was a more suitable place to train than Master Nudin's tower in the middle of Parista.
I don't like it here. All this hocus-pocus is bad news. Us dwarves know that and keep well away, just as Vracus commanded. I hope you know that too.
I cannot perform magic, and I've never attempted to. Nevertheless, please show respect. Remember that it was Lot Yonan who took me in and saved me.
Now then, it would seem that the tongue of the learned one becomes somewhat haughtier, and his sentences doth wind most strangely as we verily approach the vaults.
You can't help but grin guiltily. With a beseeching glance at the twins, you step into the area in front of the vaults. Seeing no one there you might greet, you and your companions enter your old home through the open gate.
Who the hell built this tunnel?
Bowendahl examines the crumbling roof with a mixture of disbelief and indignation.
Be quiet. I want to surprise them.
Is that such a good idea? What if we give your master such a shock that he casts a spell on us? I don't want to be turned into a mouse or a bar of soap.
It is unusually quiet in the vaults, but the smell of dinner is in the air. You imagine Frala looking up at you from her cooking pot in the kitchen and smiling.
Ah, there's boiled and roasted meat for dinner. Come on.
That's no reason to go and get ourselves turned into something weird. We'll stay here until you're finished with your little game.
You don't know the man coming out of Lot Yonan's study. His robes identify him as a famulus of Nudin the Knowledge-Lusty. You have a bad feeling. The quiet vaults, the open gate, the strange famulus. Your hand moves to the handle of your axe before you address him.
Greetings. What are you doing here? And where is Master Lot Yonan?
Ah, another one.
Don't even think of using magic, or I'll lodge this pretty piece of steel in your brain.
It takes the famulus a few seconds to comprehend the situation he suddenly found himself in. He seems to weigh up his options for a moment before he breathes out and the tension leaves his body.
All right, I won't use magic.
Lot Yonan. Where is he?
Nodon killed him. He killed all of them in Parista. There's no one left in Girdlegard who can take on the last Magus.
You're saying that someone took on all 6 of the Magi at once and defeated them? Ridiculous.
5 Magi. My master Nudin is Nodon the Doublefold, the Lord of the Perished Land and soon-to-be Lord of Girdlegard. He killed the masters, and the apprentices followed soon after. They're all gone, and he changed the magic field so that only we can use them.
An icy hand grabs your heart. It's impossible that there's only a single Magus left, and he's not fighting against, but for the Perished Land.
Why are you snooping around in Lot Yonan's study? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for artifacts that Lot Yonan, when he was in Parista, claimed he had forgotten and left in a cupboard. And for the books that were stolen from Greenglade. I'm guessing you're the dwarves that stole the books.
What does your master want with the artifacts and the books?
I don't know. He commands, we obey. He's going to be very displeased. I did find a bag in the cupboard, but it didn't contain the right objects.
What happened here? Where is everyone?
For a while, the famulus seems to be playing with the idea of being stubborn. Bowendahl pushes a little harder on the end of the crow's beak, and the tip penetrates the skin. Blood seeps out.
They're gone. Dead.
You already told me that,
A school full of magi destroyed without any signs of struggle? Lies.
The facts seem stacked against it, but you cling on to this faint hope.
Lot Yonan's famuli were already in Parista. There were only novices left. We made easy work of them. The Elfar, Sintheras, he insisted on being part of the raid after he found out that you grew up here. He opened the gates and killed most of those here before they even knew what was happening.
In your mind's eye, you see a pale face appearing from the darkness. You saw what Elfar are capable of in Greenglade. You push the thought to the back of your mind and try to keep a clear head.
I've had enough of your lies. They're alive. Lot Yonan escaped and has gathered his apprentices, Frala, and the others around him to fight against Nodon. We just have to find them.
The war was over before you even noticed it had begun. Nodon cannot be stopped. He is on his way here and will just...
Blah, blah. We will leave immediately. This news is of great importance to the Council of Dwarves.
I'm not going anywhere. I have to find my friends, and I...
Orcs! Lots of them! What is it? What is it?
Huh?
Who's next? Too easy!
Only put up a fight!
Kill! Who's next? And again! Ha-ha! I didn't hit you very hard! Pow! Another one bites the dust! Kill!
He hardly put up a fight!
I didn't hit you very hard! Who's next? Too easy!
Put up a fight!
Pow! Another one bites the dust! And again! Who's next? Ow! Too easy! Who's next? There are too many of them!
The side door in the workshop. It's our only chance.
I just need a little rest.
what now? Yes?
Huh?
Huh? Pow! Another one bites the dust. What is it?
Yes?
Too easy! And what now?
Huh? Huh?
He hardly put up a fight!
I can't do that yet!
The pillars! We could knock some of them down and bury those runts!
Pow! Another one bites the dust! What is it? I didn't hit you very hard!
Huh? Please wait a moment!
And what now? Pow! Another one bites the dust! Vile creature! Yeah! Too easy! Yes? Ha ha! He hardly put up a fight! Huh? Another one bites the dust! Too easy! Next! He hardly put up a fight! Pow! Another one bites the dust! Who's next?
There are too many of them!
The side door in the workshop. It's our only chance. Huh?
Yes? He hardly put up a fight! And what now? And again!
Yes?
He hardly put up a fight! I didn't hit you very hard! What is it? What is it? Who's next?
Huh?
Huh? Yes?
Huh?
Ha ha! Pow! Another one bites the dust! What is it? I didn't hit you very hard! Pow! Another one bites the dust! Huh? I didn't hit you very hard! Too easy! Pow! Another one bites the dust!
And again!
Huh? What is it? Yes?
Huh?
Ha ha! What is it? And what now? He hardly put up a fight! Huh?
Yes?
Who's next? Vile creature!
Ugh. Sorry, I'm kind of spacing out right now. Had a long day at work. Swear. And I got my schoolwork done. Shit, that took forever.
Damn.
The first 20 are mine! You have come far, but this is far enough. Give me the artifacts and the books you stole in Greenglade, and I'll set you free.
What have you done to the other Magi? Your famulus told us some cock and bull story about you forcing them and their famuli to go to Parista and then murdering them.
I did what had to be done to protect Girdlegard. I wish there had been another way. But they would never have understood.
Do your eyes deceive you, or do you really see a brief moment of real regret on the swollen face of the Magus?
What's with the artifacts and the books?
They belong to me. Lord Yonan was supposed to bring them to Porista, but forgot them. So, I came to pick them up. That's all you need to know.
You wanting my rucksack is enough reason for me not to give it to you.
I don't need your consent. Look after the rucksack. If you lose it, you will also lose your life. Go back to your realm, dwarves, and let your king know that I need his land. Either he hands it over without a drop of blood being spilt, or my troops and allies take it by force. You can take this one with you. I have no use for him. Invisible wizard, Maya!
Look!
Let me handle her. Kill the dwarves!
What the fuck was that?
The rucksack! The artifacts! If he wants them so badly, they might be the key to his destruction.
There's the orc with the rucksack! Let's get him! Yes? Huh?
No chance.
Too easy! What is it? What is it?
What a
Yes?
waste of time.
And what now? Very hard!
No chance.
I've got the rucksack!
What
They're
a
hitting me
waste
pretty
of
hard!
time.
Let's get out of here. Over the bridge.
No chance.
Give me a hand! Too easy! He cheated!
Wow, this game's on some titty shit, bro.
The rucksack! The artifacts! If he wants them so badly, they might be the key to his destruction.
There's the orc with the rucksack! Let's get him!
Didn't even take off my gloves.
Yes?
What is it?
No chance.
Too easy!
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
He hardly
put up a fight!
No chance.
Yes?
Huh?
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
I need help over here! Quickly!
Find him! What are you doing with your axes over here?
No chance.
Others will take my place. The rucksack! The artifacts! If he wants them so badly, they might be the key to his destruction.
There's the orc with the rucksack! Let's get him!
What a waste of time.
Yes?
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
What is it? What is it?
What a waste of time.
Huh?
I didn't even take off my gloves.
I didn't make you very hard! Who's next? Yes?
No chance.
Ow! Hey! You actually put up a fight! I didn't make you
Didn't
very
even take off
hard!
my gloves.
Too easy! Who's next? They hit me pretty hard! I didn't hit you very hard! Too easy!
It can't end like this. The rucksack! The artifacts! If he wants them so badly, they might be the key to his destruction.
There's the orc with the rucksack! Let's get him!
No chance. time.
I didn't hit you very hard!
Waste of time.
They're hitting me pretty hard!
I didn't hit you very hard! Ow! Hey! I have bow and dart! Give me a hand! Damn it! How many more of them are there? Ow! Another one bites the dust! I didn't hit you very hard!
Can't do that yet!
He hardly put up a fight! And what now? Deal? What to do with your axes over here? Huh? Damn it! How many more of them?
Hitting me
are
pretty
there?
hard! Huh? Please wait a moment. I need help over here, quickly.
Too easy!
Hey, how about some help? Do you think it's smart? Does that mean die over here?
I can't do that yet. Please wait a moment.
Hey, how about some help? No.
Ow! Another one bites the dust!
Do you think it's smart? Just letting me die over here?
I didn't hit you very hard!
Kill.
Hey, how about some help?
Who's next? What is it? He hardly put up a fight!
They're hitting me pretty hard.
Too easy! Ow! Hey!
And I didn't even take off my gloves. What a waste of time. No chance.
Ow! Another one bites the dust!
And I didn't even take off my gloves. What a waste of time.
I have bow and dart!
I've got the
Give me a
rucksack.
hand. Let's get out of here!
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
I didn't hit you very hard! Ow! Another one bites the dust! What is it?
Yes?
I didn't hit you very hard! Huh? Ow! Another one bites the dust!
Huh?
Huh? What is it?
I need help over here.
What is it?
Huh?
I didn't hit you very hard! Ow!
Waste of time.
Hey! Another one bites the dust. And what now? I didn't hit you very hard. Over here.
And I didn't. What a waste of time.
Yes? Huh? Give me a hand! What is it? Ow! Hey! What is it? Who's next?
No justice. What a waste
They
of
hardly
time.
put up a fight! And what now? Too easy!
Let's get out of here!
Retreat? We should fight on!
We would die! Perhaps you've noticed that Nodon has risen again, headless. He is more powerful than the Perished Land itself, but the key to his destruction is in here.
We will return to the Secondlings and tell them what the Magus is up to. We'll be safe at Ogre's death, and there we can hatch a plan.
If we manage to get there. Nodon will do anything to stop us.
Then let him try!
What's up?
That was fun. What's next?
Boindil looks at you, and the sparkle in his eyes goes out.
We are both very sorry about what happened here, Tungdil.
You told me, Cinthra said. I convinced myself that...
You gulp and turn away from your friends.
Ha! That's what I call a goodly challenge. Cover me.
Not a good idea if you want to go on living, Dwarf.
You've got quite a big mouth for someone who sounds like a girl.
You are Andikai, the Tempestuous, right?
Correct. And you're Tungdil, Lot Yonan's charge.
Honorable Mager, what news of Lot Yonan? Does he live?
Andikai looks at you in silence, pain and rage slowly spreading across her face.
He's dead, Tungdil. Along with Myra, Turga, and Sabora. Nod-On killed them all, and destroyed the Council of Magi.
The certainty of their death is painful. It feels as though someone has just torn your insides out.
He killed their best pupils, too. And now he's the unchallenged Magus in Girdlegard.
It was you, wasn't it, that attacked them with the lightning? Were you any more successful than we were?
Andakai shakes her head.
He defied everything I threw at him. All of my skills. In vain. I soon realized he was superior to me, but I wanted to buy you some time.
Your companion, won't he sit with us and introduce himself?
Yes! Hey, you up there! Can you even hear us with that bucket on your head?
Jerun is mute, and he won't do you any harm unless I command him to. And as long as you treat him with courtesy, Dwarf.
Boindil seems to briefly weigh up his chances against the two of them.
I decide when I'm courteous. Just don't get in my way. And the orcs are mine!
Nodon's famula said that he had changed the magical fields, but you still seem to be able to use them.
Andakai smiles.
I'm not quite as benevolent as the other Magi. My god Samusin is the god of balance. He loves the darkness as much as the light, which means I can use both. But my powers aren't unlimited. It is difficult for me to store and use this altered magic. We should avoid confrontation as much as possible.
What happened? How could he defeat the Council of Magi?
Nudin called us to Parista, under the guise of reinforcing the barrier against the perished land. Instead, he tricked us, took control of most of our powers and attacked us. I cut him down with my sword, but he rose again and impaled me with his staff. All I can remember after that is the sound of fighting, destruction, and cries of death.
How did you survive?
Jerun. Nudin had forgotten he was with me in Parista. He found me, tended to my wounds and brought me out of the city to safety, until I could summon up enough power to heal myself.
And Lot Yonan?
When Jerun carried me away, he was frozen in stone, like a statue. To my knowledge, the spell cannot be reversed.
You nod slowly. You don't have the strength to say anything else right now.
What will you do now?
Leave this place. I'm not so foolish as to believe that I could restrain the perished land or nod on. Why should I stay here?
Foolish, no! But cowardly!
You're on your way to the kingdom of the Secondlings, right? Then I will accompany you and leave Girdlegard by the High Pass.
We'll need all the help we can get. Nodon will have a lot worse in store for us than just orcs.
The Maga nods in agreement. Then she looks pensively at your rucksack.
Your rucksack? Why did Nod-On want it?
I was taking some objects to Goren, one of Lot Yonan's famuli. He was murdered at Greenglade by an elf. There were books lying next to his body which he was planning to send to Turga the Fairfaced.
May I see them?
You nod. Take the books out of your rucksack and hand them to her. She goes through the letter and the books, one after another, without showing any sign of emotion. Finally, she closes the last of the books.
Is that all? They are only sagas and travelogues from the Outer Lands, which tell of legendary creatures and myths. I don't know why they should be of interest to Nod-On.
There must be something in them that's important to him. He destroyed a whole village for them, and the vaults.
Possibly. I'll study the books. But let's sleep now. Jerun can keep watch. We are still being followed.
The path leads you through a ravine, whose steep walls are mainly made up of loose boulders and scree. You could probably cause a rockfall that would block your pursuer's path and obstruct your way back. It takes longer than you would have liked to trigger a rockfall that is big enough, but when the dust settles, you realize that you have been rewarded for your troubles. The path is blocked. In the afternoon, with the sun low in the sky, the path leads you through a ravine. A glance at your map suggests that you're near to Boribor, the Orc realm.
Fracas, may we remain unscathed.
About a mile further on, Boindil suddenly stops in his tracks and sniffs.
Can you smell that? Piggy snouts! And lots of them too!
Let's proceed with caution. Perhaps we can take a few of them out before they raise the alarm.
There! We have to stop them before they can warn anyone!
What is it? Yes?
Yes? Huh?
What is it? What is it? Huh? Ow! Another one bites the dust. Yes? I didn't hit you very hard.
Yes?
And what now? What is it?
Kill!
Vile creature. What is it? He hardly put up a fight. Too easy! I didn't hit you very hard!
Yes?
He hardly put up a fight! Too easy! Who's next? And what now? I didn't hit you very hard! Yes?
And again. Huh?
And what now? What is it? Too easy! I didn't hit you very hard!
Yes?
What is it?
They're hitting me pretty hard! I need help over here, quickly! They're hitting me pretty hard!
Who's next? Huh?
Kill!
Yes? Too easy! He hardly put up a fight! I didn't hit you very hard! He hardly put up a fight!
Huh?
Huh? Yes?
Yes?
And what now?
This guy can sprint. It took forever to get all his characters over there.
We should go down into the caves and vaults. There'll be more of them down there.
Or maybe we should concentrate on finally getting to Ogre's Death stronghold, Boindil.
You ignore the offended look on your friend's
Not a
face
scratch. Let's
and
go.
set off,
I just gotta sell the
leaving the
trophy.
Orc Mountains behind you.
At least everyone levels up. Even though everyone wasn't in battle. Take a little break. I'll be right back. Okay.
You have put out a plate of food for the night every evening since Jeroen and Andakai joined you on your journey, but still none of you have seen him eat. You decide to pay particular attention to him this evening, to try and find out what is under the helmet. Andakai is sitting not far from the giant, studying the books.
Have you found anything useful yet?
She looks up at you.
You think I will stay and fight if there is a spell in the books that might defeat Nodon?
Yours is the god of balance. Don't you see it as your duty to create a balance between light and dark?
Instead of answering, Andakai rubs her eyes and closes the books.
It's too dark to study. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
Disgruntled, you watch the Mager as she walks over to her bed for the night. Your eyes fall upon Jeroen and the plate at his feet, on which not a crumb of food is left. You can already see the oasis a day's journey away, but in the glimmer of the midday sun, you're not sure whether it might not just be a mirage. But the twins are convinced that there is a village here, and the prospect of a roof over your heads for the night keeps you going. The nearer you get to the oasis, the more the uneasy feeling grows that something's not right. It's too quiet, and you don't see any movement. Once you enter the village, your fears are confirmed. Your enemies have already been here.
Get to play with all 5 heroes now.
This whole thing is probably a trap. We should...
Welcome to Pasnar. I'm sure the citizens would greet you themselves, if they could.
You recognize the elf immediately. You saw him with the leaders of the orcs, and he appeared to you in a dream after Greenglade. Or no, not in a dream.
Sintheras.
So we meet again, Tungdil. What do you think of my work in the vaults? It was a nice start, wasn't it?
An eerie smile sets on Sintheras's lips.
Wonderful. I can see the hatred in your eyes. Come on. Come and get your revenge.
What is it?
I didn't even take off my gloves.
Vile creature. Yes! Who's next? Huh? What a waste to hit you very hard, Culp.
Now you've got me.
What is it?
Huh? And I didn't even take off my gloves.
What is it? I didn't hit you very hard. Who's next?
Vile creature!
Too easy! Pow! Another one bites the dust. I didn't hit you very hard. And what now?
What is it?
Yes?
No chance.
Yes?
Pow! Another one bites the dust. What is it?
Now you've got me interested. What a waste of time.
Ha ha! He hardly put up a fight.
Magic takes time. What a waste of time.
What is it? I didn't hit you very hard. Huh? Too easy. Oink, oink, little piggies.
What is it?
Yes?
Killed!
Who's next? Pow! And again, another one bites the dust. Here, put up a fight. Too easy. And what now? He put up a fight. Huh? Oink, oink, little piggies. Who's next?
What is it?
Yes?
Now you've got me interested.
He hardly put up a fight.
What is it?
I didn't hit you very hard. What is it? Forward dog, give me a hand. Too easy. Huh? And what now? He hardly put up a fight. Boindale, what you doing? Your axes over here, little piggies. And again. I have Boindale, give me a hand. Oink, oink, little piggies! I didn't hit you very hard! Ow! Hey! I have Boindale! Give me a hand!
Huh?
What is it? Pow!
interested.
Ow! Hey! Huh?
And I didn't even take off my
put up a
gloves.
fight! Damn it! How many more of them are there?
No chance.
Boindale! Who's what you do with your axes over here? He hardly put up a fight!
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
He hardly put up a fight! Oink, oink, little piggies! Vile creature!
Retreat! Back! Why are you here? And how can you possibly still use magic?
The one person your master left living is the one you would least like to have as an enemy. Go on, little Alf. Flee.
Your magic saved you this time. But next time, I'll be prepared.
I've had enough of fighting. It's about time we head to your home.
I've had enough too. But we've got several days in the desert ahead of us before we can enjoy a cold beer.
The longer we talk about it, the later we'll get to our beer. Let's go.
You've been traveling through the desert for days. The sand is simply everywhere. In your shoes, under your clothes, in your mouths. Even the makeshift cloths that you've wrapped around your heads is of little help. With the last of the energy you can muster, you finally leave the 40-mile-wide sandbar that separated you from Ogre's death. It is as if you've passed through an invisible wall when the raging wind and sand suddenly fall silent. In front of you, an enormous massive towers into the sky, the Blue Range. The slopes cast long shadows over Ogre's Death Fortress, which nestles in the spurs of the mountain. Even from this distance it looks impressive, with its 4 defensive terraces, one above the other. The anticipation of entering a real dwarven city for the first time grows with every step, and you feel the power returning to your limbs. You've almost done it.
Another silver trophy, let's go.
My High King, you have called me to succeed you to the throne. Here I stand before you.
Well... Before you are chosen as the successor to the High King, hear, King Gandagar, the challenges that await you. Hordes of orcs are rampaging through the north and the west, and the perished land is stirring. It would seem that the Magi cannot sustain the barriers.
This gives us an excellent opportunity to attack the last elves in Alandor. They are weakened. The perished land afflicts them. Let us wipe out the traitors once and for all.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Hear, hear.
Madness. What are you talking about?
I do not recognize you, King Gandagar, in what you are saying. The elves are inhabitants of Girdlegard. Has your hatred for them clouded your senses to the point that you wish to ignore the words of our god?
Belendelin's gaze falls, as if incidentally, on the King of the Fourthlings' advisor.
Or is someone giving you bad advice?
On the contrary, it was Bislipper who finally supplied me with the proof. A report titled How the Fiflings Lost the Gate. It was the elves that poisoned the brave Fifling warriors in their stronghold. A devious disease spread by the pointy ears in the shafts of the Grey Range.
Impossible.
I always knew it.
Treason. I don't believe
They should
that.
pay for it.
The pointy ears.
Don't be so short-sighted! We are talking about the safety of Girdlegard. We must reach out and forge a large coalition with the elves. Yes, and even with the Thirdlings, if we are to defeat the perished land.
My High King, you cannot be serious.
Drivel from a dwarf who has grown too old in his post. Are we not here to choose a new High King? We have waited long enough.
It would seem you will have to wait a little bit longer. The second aspirant has arrived. Our guests must be tired from their long journey. The meeting is adjourned till tomorrow.
This place is crazy.
But why do you think that I...
Everything will become clear. I've had a room prepared for you. Before you take to your bed, please pay the High King and I a visit in the throne room.
Ah, Your Highness!
Heir apparent? What do you know? Spit it out.
A slight expression of guilt flits briefly across Boindill's face, but he's soon back to his old self.
A scholar as High King has something to it. You'll certainly have our votes, that's for sure.
Boindall nods in agreement.
As High King, you could unite the kingdoms and get them to do battle against Nod-On.
You look at your friends and aren't really sure whether they are trying to pull your leg or not.
I can't be High King. I got all my knowledge from books, and you're pulling my leg, right?
The twins' grins grow ever wider, and it would seem they can hardly contain themselves.
Just talk to High King Gundrabur and Belendalin. They will explain everything.
High King Gundrabur seems... well...
Old? He is ancient. Even by Dwarvish standards. He has been old for as long as I can remember.
Belendalin has taken care of most matters for dozens of cycles. But Gundrabur always has the final word. His mind is younger than all of ours, I tell ya.
Belendalin should become High King. I was there when a runt took his arm. He still managed to kill half a dozen of them afterwards. What fighting spirit! We had to drag him off the battlefield.
The law requires that a firstling or a fourthling must be chosen as the new king of all dwarves. And, as the firstlings didn't turn up...
For the first time, you have the chance to appreciate the beauty of the place. You suddenly forget what you wanted to say.
I've never seen such masterful masonry. To be honest, I didn't even know that stone could be worked in such a way.
Ha ha ha! The secondlings are the best masons of all the kingdoms. That's how Fracas made us. Well, he made some of us into warriors, too.
Boindall glances at his brother, and he laughs with satisfaction while looking around the hall himself.
I think I'll continue to look around.
Don't get lost. And tonight, we will finally drink a lovely dark ale in the glowing anvil.
You can't see the bottom. When the secondlings named the Blue Range their home, there was nothing here but hard rock and a few small caves. Fantastic. Andakai, what is it?
I came to return these books to you, Tungdil. Luckily, I was able to make sense of most of it.
You observed how the Mager took time to study the books during your escape.
They are records from the Outer Lands. They tell of demonic beings from Barren Ground who can take possession of humans and invest them with great power.
Immortality, for example?
The Mager nods seriously.
They speak of an axe forged by the Undergrounders called Keenfire. It is said to have the power to cut through the flesh and bone of the living and completely destroy the demonic spirit deep within their soul.
So you think a demon from the Outer Lands has taken possession of Nudin?
He looked very different when I encountered him in Parista, and he rose from the dead even though you cut off his head. That can't be explained purely through the power of the perished land.
And he wanted to prevent these books from falling into our hands. That would only make sense if Keenfire had the power to defeat him. Do you know these Undergrounders?
I have never heard of the Undergrounders, but I've been to the Outer Lands before.
It must be terrible. The hordes of Tion have marched from there against our strongholds for thousands of years.
It's not as bad as you think. It is certainly safer than a land in which a magus possessed by a demon is on the loose.
Where is this Keenfire?
I don't know if this weapon was ever forged. It requires rare materials and masterful craftsmanship. The purest, hardest steel, stone barbs decorated with runes, a hilt of Sigurdaisy wood, inlays made of all the noble metals, the blades studded with diamonds, smithed in the hottest forge.
We are dwarves. We have the most talented craftsmen.
And you have the Sigurdaisy wood. It is amongst the objects in your rucksack, which is fortunate as there are no more Sigurdaisies in Girdlegard. But even if you manage to forge the axe, it might all be just a fairy tale. It's too little to wager our lives on.
We can get all the missing materials, as well as a gem cutter, here in the stronghold. After all, Gandagar and his fourthlings are here. A stonemason from the secondlings, and I can smith.
The Mager looks at you thoughtfully, and for a short time it seems as though your enthusiasm is rubbing off on her. But then she says,
I wish you good luck, Tungdil.
You still want to leave Girdlegard, but what will happen to your realm and all the other realms?
I admire your optimism, my friend, but it isn't wise to stand in the way of a rolling stone. I don't wish to give up my realm, but I would only be prolonging the suffering unnecessarily.
But
you don't want to let the last Mager in Girdlegard go. Unfortunately, you can't think of anything that could cause her to stay.
Many thanks, Honorable Mager, for all that you have done. A variety of cheeses, pickled cave mushrooms, toasted vault moss, and some smoked sausage. Mmm.
The intense smell of the cheese makes your mouth begin to water.
Tungdil, come closer.
The power that the old High King radiated when he called the Assembly to order has drained away from him. His body is sunken in the throne, but his eyes are alert and interested as he looks at you.
The lost son returns to his people. Thank Vracus. Tell us what you learned on your journey.
You describe your adventure down to the smallest detail. Neither the king nor his advisor interrupts you. From time to time they nod, as though they were already aware of certain facts. Their brows become more furrowed with every passing minute. When you're finished with your story, you also have some questions.
I don't want to appear ungrateful, and I'm happy to finally be among my people, but I will not ascend the throne. I hardly know anything about our customs and laws. Everything that I know, I have learned from books that Lot Yonan gave me. There must be more suitable heirs than me.
Your announcement honors you. But to be honest, you never had a claim. To stop Gandagar, we had to stall for time.
Lot Yonan helped us with our little story. We don't even know if you are a fourthling.
The king's advisor misinterprets your unbelieving gaze and quickly adds...
We're only being as deceitful as goblins for one solitary reason. To stave off possible harm to our people.
You feel as though you've been hit in the stomach. If this is true, not only have you lost your newly found kingdom, but Master Lot Yonan also didn't see it as necessary to inaugurate you in the conspiracy.
What game is being played here?
Gandagar, as king of the fourthlings, is to supersede me as High King, but his mind is poisoned with hatred towards the elves. He would probably win a war against them, but he would weaken us, and Girdlegard would not be helped by this. I was hoping for a great coalition with the elves, and even with the thirdlings. I would have given anything to start the negotiations. In times of great need, only the common goal can count.
And which role have you planned for me?
Well, with you as a second aspirant, certain possibilities of protocol open up to us.
Why is Gandagar so full of hatred towards the elves?
His father and brother were murdered by elves. At least that's what's claimed.
No one knows the truth. Just as no one knows how true this report about the fifthlings is. But isn't it strange that this letter has turned up now, just when it can play into the hands of the elf-haters? Many dwarves' hatred towards the elves is great. Perhaps even greater than their honesty.
Your plan has a flaw. Even if I were to light up, I couldn't win. No one on the council will vote for me.
You don't have to win.
Belendalin points to the Steelies in the throne room.
It's written in our laws that the High King can oppose an heir if he isn't elected unanimously. He can then demand a duel or a contest in order to determine the winner.
Such a contest could take weeks, if not months, and it would win us some time.
I understand why you want to prevent a High King Gandagar. He would be blind to our real problems.
Gandagar's only liability is that he lets Bislipper whisper dark thoughts in his ear. The advisor is the problem, not the king.
A problem that I am fortunate enough not to have.
The High King smiles weakly at his advisor.
Gandagar is a good dwarf and a good king, and I am certain he could also be a good High King if he was free of Bislipper's lies and false advice.
What kind of contest would you have us compete in? Gandagar is surely superior to me in many things.
Everyone in the council will write a task on a piece of paper, and from them, the contest will be drawn.
And this only once you have made a speech, and have won over as many as possible in the council to your side. The more sympathetic the council is towards you, the higher the chances of a contest that fits your abilities.
Speech? You're beginning to like this whole thing less and less.
Is this really the best for our people? If you cannot dissuade Gandagar from carrying out his plans, it could end in a fraternal war.
Don't worry. We'll open up his eyes and he will recognize the malice of his feigned friend. We just need time, and you must gain it for us.
All right then. I am ready to do it. But I will need all of your support.
You can be certain of it, Tungdil.
Belendalin smiles at you encouragingly.
You say Andakai may have found a way to defeat Nodon, and she suspects that the Magus is possessed by a demon from the Outer Lands. It may be possible to kill this demon with an axe called Keenfire. I have commissioned armor that is worthy of a prince. It will be delivered to your chamber by sunrise.
You say goodbye with a queasy feeling in your stomach. You always thought that you were articulate, but the prospect of having to make a speech in front of the large council doesn't exactly fill you with elation. The High King's The coal fire is lit when the kingdoms meet for council. It has lain dormant much too long, until it was finally lit again a few days ago.
I might be getting off this here pretty soon. What time is it? 9 o'clock?
You are looking forward to the first proper bed for weeks. You undress and lie down. Before you know it, your eyes close and you fall asleep. When your new armor is brought to you the next morning, you can hardly believe your eyes. However, as a smith, you can't stand the fact that you haven't contributed anything to it, and decide to add some inlays.
Even one who wears the armor of a prince can still be a farrier underneath it, don't you think, Tungdil Bolafar?
Just like a snake in elegant clothing is still a snake.
Ignoring your question, Bislipur eyes you very exactly before he speaks.
So, You want to be one of our kingdom. A foundling brought up by a wizard. One wouldn't think it possible. And I don't think it possible either. There is no proof of your origin, and Gandagar's the council on his side. Why don't you spare yourself the disgrace and just not turn up in front of the council? Put your scheme to bed, and we will take you into our kingdom. We will give you everything you need your whole life long. In exchange, you support Gandagar instead of challenging him.
And what if I don't withdraw my candidacy?
You wish to stand against your own king? A stray dwarf offending a deserving leader such as Gandagar through his claim? No one in the Brown Range will like that. Prepare yourself for life as an outsider among the Fourthlings.
You have had enough of this dwarf. He makes you feel uneasy, or worse still.
Get out!
A humanized bastard will not issue me orders. Know your place, false dwarf.
Some of the gold has left a coin-sized mark on the back of your hand. It hurts, but you like the idea that a bit of the metal you love is now part of you. The armor has been made by a master. Over the chainmail is steel plate, alloyed with gold in many places, which certainly appeals to you. There are also several decorative elements made of stone to honor its origin in the kingdom of the best stonemasons. You had just finished setting the last inlay, the seal of Lot Yonan, who brought you up and is gone, when Bislipper interrupted you.
Goren found an answer to the threat. Keenfire. No matter how difficult it is to forge it, we must do it. We don't know of anything else that could injure a demon. Sigurdaisy wood. Very rare. I guess Lot Yonan wanted it to examine or experiment with.
I'm getting out of here really soon. I want to make a reaction video to the third episode of Game of Thrones, actually. So, yeah.
That is why I, too, lodge a claim to the throne, and why I think I am the more capable heir.
Thank you for your speech, Tungdil Bolafar. The council may now ask questions.
Yes? Your question?
Just so I get this right, you want to forge a weapon that is described in a book of fairy tales from the perished land to kill a demon that none of us has ever seen?
I have most definitely seen it, Goimgar, Yellow Belly Shimmerbeard.
We have seen the perished land with our own eyes, and its master Nodon could not be killed. Many have died for the books in which it is written how Keenfire can be made.
and the Magus did all he could to get his hands on the two halves made of Sigurd Daisy wood. Those are the facts, whether you like them or not. These problems won't solve themselves, so I ask you, is it the Dwarven way to step aside and do nothing, or is it our way to act?
To act?
We don't hide away.
If the humans won't stop the Parish Land, then we will.
We shouldn't get drawn in.
Let's show the Magus the strength of the Dwarves.
Bislipper?
Nothing you say will convince anyone here. You didn't grow up amongst us, and no one knows if you really are a fourthling. I do not believe there has ever been a more unworthy heir to the throne of the High King. You are just wasting our time.
It's true. I have nothing to present to you regarding my lineage that would eliminate all doubt. But is that really important? Shouldn't my deeds count for more than my lineage? Let me prove what I can achieve.
As long as he's capable.
Well, when you put it that way...
Lineage is important.
And if you aren't capable of anything?
Yes, the dwarf from the Secondling Kingdom over there.
You say that a war against the elves would be madness. But how can such a young dwarf as you judge that? You've hardly seen anything of the world, has he?
It is true. There is much that I only know from books. But it is written that it is our duty to defend and protect Girdlegard, and that includes the elves. And don't the elves have the same enemy as we do? They could stand by us in battle. Why should we play into the hands of the enemy by attacking them, rather than working against the enemy together?
That is true.
He's right.
The words of a clever warrior.
But the pointy ears hate us, and we hate them too.
What is it they say again? My enemy's enemy is my friend.
I have heard enough. The Council has heard the words of both candidates and must now make its decision. Those of you who wish to see Tungdil Bolafar, the returning son from the Fourthling Kingdom, as my successor, raise your axe. And those who wish to see Gandagar Silverbeard from the Silverbeards, the king of the Fourthlings, as my successor. Gandagar has received more votes.
Very good.
Ha ha! Excellent!
Here's to Gandagar!
Long live our new High King!
However, the result was not unanimous, and as acting High King, I avail myself of my right to demand a contest between the aspirants.
What is this?
But he won the ballot.
It's the rules. The High King has the right to do so.
Respect! He is still the High King.
Silence!
You have heard the High King's command. Write down your challenge for the aspirants. Are you ready? The one that masters this task first will become the High King. It is an expedition. The trial is to lead a group to forge the axe Keenfire in the Grey Range, which can then be used to fight against the Magus Nod-On.
An expedition into the perished land?
Ha ha! Brilliant!
You can't be serious.
That's what I call a worthy challenge, don't you think?
I call it luck, Scholar.
Of all the challenges, Bislipur draws this one.
Yes. Luck.
I don't get to keep my armor?
But, my king, don't demand this of me. Why me, of all people?
You are one of my best gem cutters, and I promise to support him. It should be a fair contest. Or should I break my word just because of you?
But...
You will go, Goimgar Shiverbeard. Do not put us to shame. Follow Tungdil's instructions. Go! And come back in good health.
And with that, our group is complete.
Who have you chosen as Mason?
Good day, gentlemen.
Bavragar? The old drunkard?
Old drunkard? He assured me he's the best stonemason here. The High King himself sent him.
Well, I said I was precisely the stonemason you need. I didn't exactly say I was sent by the High King.
You let yourself be tricked by a drunkard.
I don't want him with us.
Rest assured, Boindil, I too could imagine better company. But Tungdil gave me his word.
Yes, I gave you my word. And as long as you are capable of doing the stonework needed for Keenfire, you are welcome. Girdleguard is at stake here.
I wish you no ill fortune, Tungdil, but also no good fortune. The throne belongs to me, and through my victory, Vracus will show the clans.
The task is clear to the contenders? The first to forge Keenfire and bring it back here has proven his abilities and will be our new High King to lead us in battle against Nod-On.
It will take months to complete the task. The journey to the Fiflings alone is a long and dangerous business.
Dangerous, yes, but not necessarily long. Do you know the old tunnel system that connects the Dwarven kingdoms?
Tunnels are all well and good, but why should we get there so much quicker under the ground than over it?
A knowing smile plays on the mouth of the advisor.
Well...
I gotta get off this so I can watch Game of Thrones, where I'm playing this for like 2.5 hours. Oh, I had a long day today. What the fuck?
Pretty impressive what our forefathers achieved here, isn't it?
The kingdoms all work together. If we do the same, nothing is impossible.
Here, here.
This shit's crazy.
You really should rein in your drinking. We need you in good shape.
There are some who say I'm only the master of beer and not the master of stone anymore. But don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I can't forget, no matter how much I drink.
I hope you understand me asking, but there seems to be bad blood between you and Boindil.
It's nothing that will endanger our mission. We've just always hated each other.
There's more behind it than commonplace hatred.
Bavragor doesn't react. His gaze is directed towards events that took place a long time ago.
I still don't understand why you tricked me and why you were so set on coming with us.
I have been the Master of Stone for more than 200 sun cycles. My work is admired all over Girdlegard. There has never been a better secondling mason than me. But today, I don't want to be remembered as a drunkard with the chisel trembling in my hand, but as Bavragor Amethyst, undefeated Master of Stone, who brought keen fire to life. One last masterpiece. I wonder why we haven't seen any sign of Gandagar recently. Perhaps they took a wrong turn somewhere. I'm sure we'll reach the Fifthling Kingdom before them.
We're not on the way to the Fifthlings. We are on the way to the Firstlings. We're probably already under the land of the Custodian.
The Firstlings? Why?
The Firstlings have been the best smiths in Girdlegard since the Fifthlings were wiped out. Only they can alloy Tionium and Palladium, which are actually mutually repellent. Anyway, we could use all the help we can get in the battle against Nodon, and...
What the fuck?
Damn. Goimgar.
It burns!
We won't get further this way, Scholar. What now?
It's all your fault, you imposter. I was nearly killed, and for what?
It is good that you are still alive. We need you for our mission.
So you can steal a throne that doesn't belong to you?
Hatred glints in the gem-cutter's eyes, and for a moment, you think he's going to attack you with the courage of desperation.
I'm not interested in the title of High King. I am trying to save Girdlegard. Even if you don't believe anything else, you must believe this.
I don't have to believe anything. I am here against my will. My own thoughts are my only remaining right.
Enough! Gather up all the materials we can still save. If we manage to reach the Firstlings, we can get anything we're missing there. And it should be less than 200 miles to their stronghold.
Less than 200 miles? It took him 6 days to cross a desert that was 40 miles.
After you have gathered together the materials, you begin to search for a way out. And after a sweaty climb, you reach a door adorned with runes. From here, you enter a large cave with a waterfall covering a sun-drenched opening. You walk through the waterfall one after another, and after the unintentional shower, you find yourselves in Wayan, near the enchanted realm of Oramira. You find yourselves on a plateau, and the river which falls as a waterfall here hides the entrance to the underground rail network. It then flows past a forest, behind which you can see a wall and tiled roofs. You check the map.
That must be Mifidania. We'll go through the forest to the city and see if we can refresh our supplies and buy some ponies.
Alright, I'm gonna save and get off the note. First thing Alright, folks, if you enjoyed watching this broadcast, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. And then, yeah, like I said, I'm probably going to do a reaction video to Game of Thrones. I'll probably just keep the Dwarves, like, main menu up, and then just, like, do the reaction. Yeah. So I'm just gonna start my broadcast over and just keep this up and do the reaction video to the 3rd episode. So stay tuned for more. Peace.